We have funded blast testing, right? So now here in the U.S., right? So surprisingly, CLT is pretty blast resistant, right? If you so now the our Department of Defense and our
Yeah.
State Department are both looking at that as opportunities to build buildings that will be more resistant to uh, like blast.
So we might see military installations built out of timber.
Well, there's there are the Army's been building on their bases. They've done five. That they got two. They're in construction. It's owned by a hotel, but um, it's it's sort of kind of transient housing. But the beauty is now they feel they can move them closer to the road rather than having a greater setback. But
Fantastic.
overseas, I mean, the opportunity, the blast testing is going to change the dynamic for, I think, both the military, State Department, right, embassies. It's going to be pretty neat.
And I think that's an interesting point because, often we think of mass timber from the carbon benefit, and obviously there's a significant carbon benefit, but it's also lightweight and it's very flexible and it can be adapted to use in different material settings, isn't it? And that's one of the
Yeah, but
interesting things.
I think one of the other is, and because we were talking about, you were talking about urban infills in the urban environment. It definitively creates a safer, quieter construction site.
Hmm.
Right? Because you bring a truck in, you put the pieces in place, the truck goes away. And within what might take you 6 months to get a concrete built, just the concrete in place will take you maybe a month and a half with the mass timber. Um, Most projects find that when the building is finished, and we've had the studies, that they probably can shave two or more months off the construction time of the building, right, and occupy it sooner. So there are other advantages, right, which make it not just the carbon savings.
It'll be interesting because I guess because mass timber is so intertwined with offsite and prefabrication, if we may even find robotic installations as well in the future.
You very well may. I'm hoping mass timber can be a solution to our housing crisis.
Yeah.
I can't, it probably it's the same here in the U.S. Young people aren't going into the trades so much anymore, right? They're not
Mm.
becoming carpenters, plumbers, electricians. So, right, and more people are moving to rural areas, urban areas. So there's not a lot of trades in once you get away from a metropolitan area. And it's harder to build a home. We have a lot of partners, and I know they're doing it in Europe that are banking on they can prefabricate or maybe